Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on another phase of part 2 to this Romeo student design project in downtown Romeo. This project started a year ago when we involved the high school students in downtown Romeo to involve themselves in a project that would allow them to be creative, design and think, and put some thoughts and energy forward. And so what that has done was we had brought forward a student that got involved last year. His name was Chris Fazzolari, and he did a great presentation and project for Phase 1. And so now he has taken leadership and effort to lead parts of Phase 2. So Phase 2 is beginning to start on February 10th. It's going to go until May 3rd. And this project for Phase 2 will take the consolidation of about 200 surveys that we have collected and compile that data to see what are the concept types that we can start putting some graphics and design to for this next phase. Chris has done a great job putting together a presentation. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
We're here at the kickoff for Phase 2. I'm Chris. I'm heading up the project with Jason Arnott, owner of Earth Environments, and we're going to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing and what we hope to do.
It's a project which we started last year. We broke it into a 3-phase project. Chris was the winner of the first phase from last year. And what we're trying to do is basically have the students involved from Romeo High School involved in the development of the Southeast Quadrant in downtown Romeo. It's a good way for getting them involved in actually promoting their community, getting their ideas out there, and working with a downtown development authority. We do have some students from Lawrence Tech. Your name is?
Tony Depafani. I'm a freshman at Lawrence Tech. Taking classes with Chris down there. Came in to put some of my input in towards the southwest or southeast quadrant in Romeo. And then this is Mike.
Yeah, my name is Mike Borelli. I'm an EE employee here, been helping Chris out with the start of the initial phase for first one for the downtown development project. Here we're just trying to gather some more data and ask good questions for the second phase. And here Chris has a presentation put together on RITSI to kind of help out any questions that people have on it. So I'm going to let Chris take the mic and go ahead and start speaking about it.
Okay, well, the presentation's on the screen behind us. This information here is basically stayed the same, but is still from May, about a year ago. First question we asked out of the survey for Phase 1 would be what would be a good land use with the area we have back there. The Southeast Quadrant would be the area where ACE is, the Parker building behind Little Caesars, and a few rental homes across from Lionsfield. We're considering including Lionsfield too right now. Before you can answer what a good land use would be, you have to ask yourself, what land do you have? So if you look at the map, you'll see the area I just described. Everything in pink is historically significant to the Village of Romeo. Everything in yellow can be altered providing we get the right permission. From a survey of about 40 people, we've seen that parking is the #1 issue. Next, people would like to see more outdoor recreation, some type of farmers markets or craft show area for the weekends, more walking, more promoted park space, once again, possible outdoor restrooms because we don't have any in Romeo. This is the data, once again, showing those suggestions. Parking winning by far for a good land use. And then you can see that the next biggest one is a park outdoors, and then some kind of community space on the weekends, such as a farmer's market. After taking about 200 surveys, parking is still the major concern for what would be a good land use. Up next would be community spaces and retail spaces last. The second question we asked for gathering data for Phase 1 was what was the major assets of this quadrant of Romeo. Once again, if you look at the map, you can see that there is a limited amount of space we're working with, but there are assets such as we have the Gateway to Peach Fest here, with all the rides being at Lions Field and the historical buildings and the central business district. Like I said, it is the gateway to Peach Fest and the historic buildings for sure. Some more shots. Another asset that people have said is the available land we have in the small space to do what we wish. And that is seen in Lions Field as well as some of these rental home properties which are possibly up for sale, and the abundance of somewhat free parking here we could remodel and make more efficient. Here's the data for that. Assets clearly winning with 43% for historical buildings and location. After 200 surveys, that was, once again, that's after 40 surveys. After 200 surveys, location is still the main thing people said that is an asset to Romeo. Question number 3 we asked was, what are the major challenges of the area? Once again, the major challenge we have is the limited space, as you can see from the map. We're also facing regulations from the Historical Society and the village. Cooperation, we have to come up with a plan that everybody can agree on. I took this picture on the left here when we were walking around at the beginning of phase 1 at the kickoff last time for phase 1. I photoshopped out the telephone poles, and you can see that shows what some people were talking about utilities being a major challenge. Without the utility lines, it makes it look a lot more open, a lot more inviting. Traffic is an issue. It's interesting if you think about traffic as an issue from the sense that we don't have much time to cross at the intersection, and businesses feel that that hurts the business on this side of the street, because most people will go to the other side of the street for Youngers or the Office Pub. Not having that much time to cross the street with dump truck traffic and everything, they feel like they're not coming over here. But also at the same time, because we have that increased level of traffic and less time to cross, we're getting a lot of people to come through Romeo. So there's potential for more business. The major challenges for phase 1 with 40 people surveyed would be that automotive property in the quadrant. A lot of people said you could see something more productive done with that. After 200 surveys, we're starting to see that the major challenge people are saying is just the fact that we need to update the buildings, and we need to strongly consider the small amount of space we have for the project. Our 4th question was kind of a simple question. It was asking whether landscaping would be beneficial to the area, as you can see there. These are the quick few shots of the back of the buildings that show, it's kind of barren, kind of empty. It could easily be fixed with some shrubs and some mulch along the edges of the pavement. And the same thing with the back of the buildings, kind of barren, kind of empty, kind of plain, maybe a few plants, some more mulch. It's the same for both surveys. 40% or 40 people surveyed, 93% said yes. The only reason 7% said no is because they want to address the parking issue first, and if you start landscaping, you lose space parking. With 200 people surveys, it just shifts 1% into the yes category. So that would be 94% yes, 6% no, for the same reasons. Our final question was a little bit of an oddball, but we figured we might as well throw it in there. Do you think a multi-level parking garage would be beneficial to the community? Well, when you look at this picture, you got to think to yourself, do we really need it? It kind of shows not what Romeo's all about. This is more industrial, kind of for more traffic, more business. It's something maybe you'd see in a bigger town, not necessarily something we need here. So do we need it? We could use it for Peach Festival, and we could definitely make some money on it, whether it's public parking or just for employees. It could pay for itself in the future, but it's a 50-50 split with 40 people surveyed. With 200 people surveyed, it's on the no category, 52% to 48%. So we're seeing a general census of people that do not want it. I don't think there's a need for it, personally, but the community wants it, we'll consider it a little more. So that's all the information we have from phase one, as you see in the summary slide here. Basically what we're looking for phase two is someone who is interested in the program. Tony showed interest in it. And we're looking for someone to take all this data and come up with possible themes and connections, maybe a possible design, a layout we could implement later in the future.
Well, Chris, if I could, I have a question for you. I understand that you and Jason Arnott went to LTU, and you guys set up a meeting with the director there, Margaret Pierce, for Career Services. Do you feel that Lawrence Tech is on board with this project? And what really happened and transpired when you guys were at the meeting?
Last Friday, January 20th, we went to a meeting at Lawrence Tech. We had a meeting, as you said, with Director Pierce for Career Services. She liked the program a lot. She decided to put it both into the system as a volunteer opportunity for people to complete some credentials or experience for their leadership classes. And she also put it in as a possible internship with Earth Environments to work on this project. Lawrence Tech liked the idea so much that they're presenting the information that we gave them, which is a little student handout here, which basically says, you know, a brief overview of my presentation that I gave and what we're hoping to see in phase two. They liked it so much that they forwarded that to the Southfield Community Schools, and they're hoping that we can do a similar thing in Southfield that we're doing here. So I would say Lawrence Tech is definitely on board. Right now, that concludes the presentation.
Please get involved in this project. We're looking for all of your input. We would encourage those to visit with us when we do meet every other week during the months of February, March, and April. The project will go on from February 10th to May 3rd. And we're looking for student involvement, we're looking for the parents' involvement, we're looking for locals and visitors' involvement. So we're trying to make a better place and space, and we look forward to your participation in the near future.